Getting a job in production is something that I have always dreamt of. Recently, Randy Cohen, an alumna of Rider University, was able to give me the opportunity of a lifetime. I was able to work in the field as a production intern on the film The Undying. Randy is currently a freelance production coordinator in New York City. Essentially, my goal is to have a life in production, and this internship gave me the chance to see what it's all really about. In the pre-production phase of The Undying, I worked in the production office alongside Randy. I helped coordinate everything from the cast and crew, to the daily menu, to when and where a rental car was supposed to be picked up. When we arrived on set, I was a production assistant, or PA. I was asked to do many different tasks on a daily basis. One of the more common tasks was going on runs. This includes picking up actors, getting food or coffee for the cast and crew, or anything else that is needed on set to help the day move more smoothly. It was a valuable experience to be on set. I was able to see firsthand what each person's job was, no matter his or her department. Each of these jobs, just like the people that occupy them, are very diverse, but when they are all brought together, they each lend in the process and art of filmmaking. Like I said, each job and person is different, and I met a lot of characters on my journey. Bruce Jones, who is an electrician, was one.
In electrical, you're dealing with lighting and power distribution, and you're making sure that all the departments that have power need power. You're working directly with the grip department as well as with the DP, and you're responsible with your boss, the gaffer. You're responsible for how a film looks in terms of how it is lit.
Another person I met on set who had a big influence on me was my first assistant director, or first AD, Dawn Lichter.
Basically, I take the script and I break it down. Break down all the scenes, the locations, the actors, props, everything. Full breakdown of the script. And the producers give me, according to their budget, an amount of days that I need to shoot it in. So I kind of schedule the entire shoot within those parameters.
Working in the production office, I was able to meet a West Coast native, Tommy Rosera. Tommy's job was one that I didn't even know existed.
I was the line producer, which is basically the same thing as a producer, but it's just dealing with the physical aspect of making the film as opposed to anything creative. There's, like, you know, that's probably the biggest difference between a producer and a line producer is the producer is more creative input. The line producer can have creative input, but usually not. It's mostly just like, how are you going to get this film done with, you know, with the allowed budget and so on and so forth.
The crew member that I had the most admiration for was the film's producer, David Flynn. David began his film career acting in the late 80s. He has also written several screenplays, including The Undying.
But there's so many people involved in making a film successful. And everybody who worked on this film had a really strong commitment to it. Everybody who worked on it said, I love the script, I want to be involved in this, including the actors who were passionate about it. We had a terrific cast.
While taking production classes, I've had the opportunity to cross paths with other industry professionals. I encountered Jerry Zecker, part owner of Autopilot Films.
I will be the 2006 Dolphin Rodeo champion. And this isn't a lampshade on my head.
Right now I'm working on a lot of different projects. Some are in development, some are currently going, and some I'm wrapping up. And then one of my ongoing projects is doing a series of webisodes at Webster Hall about the events that go on there, the people that work there, the history of the club.
In this line of work, I have seen that forming partnerships is essential. Greg DiDomenico, Jerry's friend and business partner, is an example of this.
I'm a union camera assistant on large budget commercials, motion pictures, music videos, television, whatnot. So that brings in the majority of the money while we're trying to get Autopilot off the ground. I want to have a production company. You know, I want us to work on what we want to work on, and I get paid to do it.
Each of the people that I have met on this voyage have had a great deal of input on how the final project turns out, and I have learned a lot from them. Most of this wisdom has been very useful to me while directing my own film. I have not only learned the art of filmmaking from these professionals, I have also learned how this career choice will later affect my life, both socially and romantically.
It's definitely hard to make people have any idea about the hours and the unstudied, you know, the not being studied about the schedule.
You don't know when you're getting out of work. You don't know when the day is ending. You could end up being there till 2 a.m. Things go wrong. They don't get things right. You could be on a roll for 8 hours and then hit a speed bump, and it could set the production back, you know, 4 hours over the schedule.
As for the hours and the commitment, it's true. I have not been able to, I have not had relationships very often.
Although everyone that I've met in the industry agrees that hours are long and relationships are hard, they all seem pretty sure that this is where they want to be.
If you're not enjoying it, then then it obviously isn't the career choice for you. But I mean, if at the end of a 14-hour day you're still happy and even if it was a horrible day but you're still enjoying what you're doing, then you know you kind of figure out how to survive.
In terms of my happiness, I think I'm doing okay. I'm doing what I wanted to do since I was 4 years old.
I'm really striving to get to that point where it's like, you know, give it your touch. You know, we want you to just create this thing from beginning to end. And there's going to be changes. There's always changes. But just knowing that they're hiring me for what I can do and what I've done is super gratifying.
I have learned through my brief time on set that my ultimate goal in the industry is to work on set design. I've discovered, however, that it may take me years to achieve this goal.
Ultimately, my dream job would be able to shoot, edit, write, and then upload everything to the internet.
I have a project that I've also written. It's a youth comedy, and I very much want to get that into production. It would be great if I could do it this summer.
Usually, I think international films, meaning co-productions. European, Israeli, Israeli-American, that would be my ideal to direct.
As a college student, I understand the difficulties of trying to stay ahead financially. It seems that in the life of a freelancer, your work is only as good as your next paycheck.
And working in independent film, you're gonna be broke for quite a while until you find that one little niche, or you're lucky enough to get your film made and it's accepted wherever. But it is truly a labor of love. I mean, sometimes you do the math and you're like, I'm making $100 a day divided by a 14-hour day. It's like I can make more money, you know, having a regular job. But it's like, wait a minute, I didn't get into that for that.
It's real hit or miss. Like when you're working, it's great, and when you're not, then the downtime is not good.
A year ago exactly, I had 2 months of no work, and it's hard because there's no income and no food, and you've got student loans and apartment rental, and you know, it's not easy.
The most important thing I learned through my experiences on the sets of independent films is that,
I mean, it's all about connections. I even went as far, I mean, I have a good network of people, you know. I'm friends with a Steadicam operator. You know, he costs $600 to $1,000 a day to come out and shoot. But he's my friend, and I edit his Steadicam reels. So whenever I need a Steadicam, I mean, he'll come out for nothing on one of my projects, or if I'm doing a low budget thing, he'll come out for like $300, you know, $200. So that's just, I mean, that's more of that's a connection and it's an asset. You know, everybody you meet, let them know what you do, and they refer you to people when they hear that there's a need for you.
The first job I got was completely a connection. I think a fellow film student of mine that also graduated was working at a popcorn store, and his manager at the popcorn shop got some, you know, one of those trust fund kids, got some money from his dad, from his parents, and made a movie, and it was his first feature film, and he took him in to be his AD. Ironically, that's the guy that I replaced on film on the set. But yeah, but he got me into the film as well, and I met a lot of people there, which led me to other jobs.
I think that having a good relationship with Dawn and other professionals in the industry will help me further my career and achieve my goals. It seems that if you prove your abilities early on in your career, you can get very far. Because after all, it's all about the connections. Okay, great. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
after this feature, I'm going on vacation back home.